Ainz Ulgon sat on his throne, unmoving. But beneath that stillness, his mind was racing. Something wasn't right. Recent events, small inconsistencies, misplaced intelligence, strange behavior among humans connected to Nazarick had triggered a thought he dreaded. There might be a traitor. The Guardians stood in their places as usual. Albedo was ever loyal. Demirge's sharp eyes hinted he, too, had noticed something. None of them could possibly betray Nazarick. But what about those outside the core? Humans, workers, agents, informants, bought and paid for with coin and fear. Ainz sent for Sebas. Tian alongside Solution. Sebas was tasked with investigating the cities, seeking traces of betrayal not with violence, but observation. Days passed, and in the alleys of Recites, a whisper was caught. A merchant, trying to save his own skin, confessed to selling information to a woman with pale skin and red eyes. The description was too familiar. It sounded like Ainz summoned Shaltir before him. He knew this journey would take time, so he'd brought her back with a different purpose. Yet even before he questioned her, he saw the flickering of troubled emotions across her features. Shaltir, you have returned. Her response was immediate and crisp. My apologies, my liege. I am late. She shook her head, dispelling whatever thoughts he'd hoped to glean from her. I did not commit a trespass, but I sensed a disturbance. An unnatural use of magic. A mimicry of my presence, though not by me. Her tone was sharp, laced with annoyance. You are certain? Ainz pressed absolutely. I would not lie to you, Ainz. But there was an edge to her voice. Almost a challenge. Ainz decided to lay his suspicions bare. He told her about Sebas's findings, the merchant's tale of a mysterious woman who sought information. Shaltir's reaction was immediate. She let out a soft growl, a hint of her true self peeking through. That witch. So she has crawled out from wherever she was hiding. It took Ainz a moment to understand. Shaltir hadn't been in the city. She confirmed it under magical proof, yet admitted she could sense her own magic near the name that was mentioned. A doppelganger, a mimic, a trap. The possibilities raced through Ainz's mind. Whoever it was, they were feeding false information to the outside world, creating confusion and doubt. Ainz returned to the great tomb of Nazarick. He needed to inform the others, to strategize. As he gathered the Guardians, the gravity of the situation sunk in. The enemy wasn't just feeding off loose talk. They had deliberately mimicked one of their own to sow falsehoods into the world outside. Trust was a luxury they could no longer afford. Every piece of information, every sighting, every report had to be scrutinized, sifted through for lies. Albedo, ever the strategist, suggested a purge. Why wait for the enemy to strike? They could replace the outer agents with Nazarick's creations, with beings who wouldn't be susceptible to such tricks. Ainz considered it, then shook his head. He didn't want to act out of fear or paranoia. He didn't want to become the very thing he was trying to defeat. Demirge, however, offered a counterpoint. If the enemy was already in their midst, infiltrating their ranks, wouldn't this make them vulnerable to a surprise attack? What if they replaced the agents only to find themselves betrayed at the most critical moment? Ainz looked at each of his guardians, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the great tomb. He finally spoke, his voice echoing with quiet authority. We will do none of those things. We will not purge our agents. We will not replace them. We will not act out of fear. He paused, letting his words sink in. Instead, we will turn the enemy's methods against them. What do you mean, my liege? Albedo tilted her head, her expression curious. Ainz smiled, a dangerous glint in his eye. We will play a different game. A game of shadows and illusions, he declared. Pandora's actor will be sent to the surface, disguised, perhaps, as myself. Let the enemy chase shadows and illusions, while the real Ainz remains hidden. As the other guardians processed this strategy, Ainz couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. He had always enjoyed a good game of deception. After all, he was the master of the genre. And if his enemy wanted to play games with identity and illusion, then Ainz would show them what it meant to face the real master of deception.